Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Card Talk, podcast where we spend just a little bit of time arguing about words written on cardboard because there's nothing better in the world to argue about. I'm your host, Dave Walsh.
And I'm Ted Bannock, coming up with original taglines for my companions to steal.
I'm Micah Quantz, and I'm here for the hot takes.
And I'm Matt Kell, the blog master supreme. I review cards one at a time over at cardtalk2018.com.
Okay. I love Matt that you do this enough to always give everybody the website. That's good. For anybody who doesn't know, this is our Extravaganza month, and we're looking at the fives. We're doing five, top five, bottom five. So every show we're evaluating certain types of cards and deciding what belongs on the list. So we've already talked about a lot of heroes, and today we're going to talk about the last sphere of influence, and that's Micah sneezing. And that's tactics. Tactics is maybe going to be the most interesting one. Maybe not. I don't know. But leadership was pretty interesting. So
One word for it.
Yeah.
Don't talk about Baggins or fellowship spheres.
Right. Yeah. Who's your favorite? Who are the top 5 Baggins heroes? Anyways, so tactics, gentlemen. It was pretty clear that there was 3 on top of tactics. So, and there's 3 of you.
Was there?
Yeah, I mean, at least based on this list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Micah, who is the who's on the top of the list here?
Obviously, Eowyn.
Yeah. So tactics Eowyn, definitely, and I'm gonna write her down as one. And believe it or not, Ted did not vote for tactics Eowyn.
I did not.
So, which is wild. 4 of us also picked 2 other heroes. Matt, do you know what another hero is that had 4 of us voting?
I'm going to guess Tactics Baragond.
Tactics Baragond? Yep. And so I'm going to put Baragond also on the list just because.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah. And then, Ted, do you know what the third card was that.
Tactics Bilbo, because he's a hobbit. And that's why we think that they're the best, because that's the criteria.
I mean, Bilbo is on the list, but not with 4 of us voting.
No, not with 4 votes. That's surprising. Yeah. He didn't sweep the boards.
No.
The card talk boards.
No. What say you about? Do you know what the other one was? Legolas, yes. So I think that's a good way to start off this list with those 3.
It's a pretty solid start.
Not chosen by Ted.
Right. Also not chosen by Ted. It's crazy. It's wild. Okay. So here are the other ones that had multiple people voting for. So let me just make sure that everybody out there knows how we did this. I sent a survey to the Card Talk crew. There's 5 of us. We all voted. And so I compiled the list, and that's how this vote. I didn't ask for input from patrons. I didn't ask for input from the community. I just took our list so that we can come up with our definitive top 5 heroes. Not necessarily ranked, not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like who are the 5 best. So right now in tactics, we have Eowyn, Baragond, and Legolas. And so here are the other ones getting votes, multiple votes. Okay.
The reasons, by the way, that we have selected these heroes started out mostly scientifically and have thus degraded into mostly arbitrary.
So others getting multiple votes: Grimbeorn, Imrahil, Hirgon, Boromir, and Merry. So, like
Those are all
Grimbeorn.
I
good
think
picks.
Grimbeorn has to go on the list. Like he's my number 6. He was very close to
What does
making
that-
my list.
He was very close to making your list, so he has
Yeah.
to be on the overall.
So he has to be on the overall list. Well,
I
it
see,
was on
I'm very passionate about the top 5, so give
Okay.
me
We
my
have two-
6th choice.
Right, we have two choices here. Pick Grimbeorn because he's a pretty solid hero with good stats, a good overall ability, or don't pick Grimbeorn because Grant's not here to defend him.
Yeah.
I mean, we already saw him on Dave's list too.
Yeah, I mean, he was on my list, and so he would be on my 6th. He would be my 6th as well, but I don't know. Like,
And he's on the other 3 lists.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
my number
I-
2.
so
Like
does
I've
that
seen
mean
him in action. He's really good.
he is
Yeah,
good?
it's he functions well. Obviously, the more cards you play with him, the better. But he doesn't necessarily need that to operate.
I don't-
He's very efficient stat line, and so yeah, I think he deserves to
I
be
don't-
there.
I don't like playing him as much as I like sitting across the table from him.
That's actually another good sign, though, too, right?
Yeah.
When you're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's maybe because it's
Yeah.
maybe not to your play style, or you just have more preferences towards
Mhm.
other heroes,
Mhm.
which is great. But then when you're like, oh yeah, but I still want someone else to play him, you're kind of admitting like,
Yeah.
duh, like he's good. I want
Yeah.
someone to play him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay, so I put Grimbeorn on the list because it
Yeah.
seems like he's up there for most of us.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so there you go, Grant.
Grant, yeah, it's Grant.
Grant wins again.
Okay, so now we have one spot for some of these. So we have Imrahil, Hirgon, Boromir, and Mary. So my vote is for Mary only because every other list has a Hobbit on it, and we
This
need a
episode,
Hobbit on
we're gonna
this list.
not cater to Dave.
Well, as someone who did not pick Prince Imrahil, I would probably advocate for him on the list because I honestly forgot about him. He probably would knock Boromir off my number 5 spot. So he's not my 6th choice. He's really my 5th choice because I forgot about him.
I love Imrahil. He's the first one that came to mind when we were looking at tactics heroes. I'm like, Imrahil is definitely top. But I like Hirgon too a lot. I've been playing. He's a more recent discovery for me, but I think Imrahil has a lot of power.
He's
I
in the
like
revised
Hirgon, but I
pool
don't-
too, right?
Who?
Doesn't Imrahil, didn't he come out of Dream Chasers?
Yes.
I feel like.
Somebody has to pull up here.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't mean to make us all do work. I'm pretty certain on that. Okay, everyone's on it. Yes,
Yeah.
clickety clack.
I thought he was in the Gondor
yes.
starter deck.
He
Uh,
he's all he or
no.
is that no?
He's in
That's
the
the
city of
leadership
Corsair.
version.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He is in the city of Corsairs is when he was.
Okay.
released,
Yeah.
So
Nice.
Okay. So yeah, so he's in the revised card, but which is great to see because he's really solid and his stat line is good. Like he's got 2 willpower for being in tactics, which can help you with early questing. He's good at attacking. He can defend. Like he can kind of do everything, and then his ability is both strong
Right.
and fun at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why he would have been number 5 for me. Is that ability
Yes.
is just fun and interesting, and it's just been too long since I've played him and totally forgot. It's like I played the bouncy bear deck where you try to get Grimbeorn into play with Sparrowhood and Cloak and attack twice for 8 and then shuffle him back in.
It's
like-
just too often where you get that nasty surprise enemy off the top of the encounter deck, and you just pull out an ally to just kill him off. And
Yeah, or an extra defense, and some of the allies have effects when they enter play, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
And you think like paying the 1 resource would be taxing, but like it's so worth it, even if you're not accelerating your deck because you're kind of staying on top of enemies.
yeah. Well, let's do something similar that we just did. We have one spot left. Okay, so we have Eowyn, Baragon, Legolas, Grimbeorn. Okay, and you guys seem to be all in love with Imrahil. Okay, but so who would you put higher on the list, Imrahil or Hirgon?
Imrahil.
Imrahil.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Imrahil as well.
Imrahil. I actually think Hirgon is just kind of all right. I don't love him all the time, but that okay. So Imrahil beats that up. Okay, so what about Imrahil versus Boromir?
Again,
Imrahil.
as I said in earlier episodes, if your hero had to be errated at some point, it
Yeah.
means you're good. And his ability, even post errata, is still quite strong. Just to ready once per phase.
Yeah.
It's strong, but I think Imrahil is still just it's stronger.
Again, these are ones I have more fun playing too, and like, and Imrahil is one of the most fun heroes in my opinion.
Well, do you have Boromir on your list? No,
I don't.
you
No.
don't.
Boromir was on my list, but I forgot about Imrahil. I probably would have swapped them because Boromir's fun for a little while, and then you kind of move on from that deck, right? Because you've done that before, and then he becomes like, oh, I need someone who can do X, Y, Z, and then he's just kind of a role player.
Okay, so Imrahil.
What are your thoughts, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, I would put Imrahil above those two, but now the one that I really wanted to get to is Imrahil over Mary. Like, two different things, and I know where Micah's going to find. It's like I don't play hobbits, so forget Mary. I mean, Mary makes attacking in the Hobbit deck so good, and he makes he's able to ready other heroes. So like, I get that like Imrahil brings out stuff and is fun to play, but Mary also super fun to play in the Hobbit deck. You know, like, it's really fun.
I honestly forgot about his ready ability.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna go with Imrahil.
Yeah.
but Mary is possibly my top pick for a Hobbit, other than maybe Frodo, leadership Frodo, I guess.
Oh.
But
other than Bilbo, Matt. Where's Bilbo? Where's Bilbo on your list?
Bilbo is number one in my favorite heroes of like all time. If we were just talking like my favorite to play and thematize and everything else, but like once you start talking about effectiveness and stuff, he's too much of a role player. So you really need to have things for him to activate against.
Yeah.
Get his willpower boost.
But that's the best part, is that when you don't have stuff to activate against him, that means you're doing really well, usually.
Or you play a location heavy scenario and things are just not going your way.
Yeah, his ability is I mean, it's useful. He certainly makes guarded cards more viable, which is nice if you're into that sort of thing, I guess.
If you're into that sort of thing.
But yeah, so very recently I had some players who I play some other games with, and they expressed some interest in learning this game. And the way that I start new players is I first like to ask them who are their favorite Lord of the Rings characters. Right? Because you're gonna have more fun if you get to like play your favorite characters. And someone on their list had put Bilbo, and I was able to accommodate everybody's picks except for this person, because I'm like, ooh, like you're just gonna feel really lackluster if I put either version. Learning the game, and again, that's just kind of my skewed way of thinking, as opposed to this is a very veteran episode, right? Because we're not going over all the cards and stuff like that. So his tactics version I like it a lot more than his lore version, certainly. But it's a little bit too niche for me.
It's also really tough in solo if you just don't see an enemy for a few turns, and if you just can't rely on him being your only quester.
Yeah, but and then as opposed to multiplayer, there's like always an enemy in the staging area, generally,
Right.
So he'll like always have a target.
Well, the enemy has to be in the staging area, like has to be there to begin with. So, which sometimes doesn't happen.
It depends on the scenario, because some
Yeah,
scenarios have higher threat engagement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or play a Dunedain Hunter or something to help you out there, but it's
he's
he
got
has
a
a
lot
lot
of
to build around.
Yeah, he's a little bit more build around, which is very fun for this game being a deck. That's what the game is. It's got to build around everything.
So we're still on Imrahil as the fifth one on the list.
I think so. I think he's going to take it.
There was somebody who will remain nameless here. I'm pointing, in my screen, he's above me, but somebody said Beorn too.
Also, I mean, he's got that sweet printed 5 attack, which is just juicy.
Wait,
I love playing Bjorn.
Yeah, Beorn changed kind of the what the game can do, right?
He's a good kind of runner up on our list because he's also again kind of easy to operate, and I also have a fondness too, though. Aside from that, if we're looking at what we're on towards, is heroes that aren't like humans, right? So, like when your deck is like when it's gonna be like Treebeard and Gwahir and Beorn, you're like, my deck is just all these like fearsome creatures of Middle Earth that's just gonna destroy everything. That's
funny.
And he's got his ability to not exhaust and
he's got 10 hit points.
Right. Yeah, he's very, very different in a way that you do need to build around it a little bit because you really want to reduce the damage that he takes, and there's cards to do that, but they're not like crucial. It's not like you have to get them out for him to start functioning.
Right. Especially if you put another defender in and just let him be the attacking bear and go to town.
Yeah. Like he's up. He's good. Especially like I like to pair him with Baragon because then Baragon blocks the biggest thing, and then Bjorn like picks up the trash.
It doesn't exhaust.
And then and then effing mauls him to death, and it's awesome. Yeah.
Is he better than Imrahil on this list?
Is he better than Imrahil? No, because the fact that he's immune to player. Like, no. He's immune to player card effects, and that's like very unique to the game,
right?
And a little tough to you have to learn to operate around that.
Okay, you know what I'm doing? I'm carving Imrahil on the list here.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement there.
Well,
but
almost all of us are.
Apparently, we're ready to add top 5 Hobbit heroes for Dave.
I know. Well, I'm just sad, we have hobbits on. I successfully fought for Frodo and Sam to get on the list, and then I couldn't fight for Merry, but
no, he's fun, and he's really strong too in Bond of Friendship contract, right? His ability get an extra tick out of it,
right?
But and the merry-go-round thing is fun to do. The whole like he can make infinite attacks. His ability is not limited, which is also kind of nuts,
right? And that's somebody put Bard the Bowman on their list because of the merry-go-round. Grant put Bard the Bowman on the list.
Not Tactics Aragorn, because that was the machine gun combo I remember.
So he was definitely on my list because it's quite strong. So strong.
Yep.
Tactics Aragorn didn't make the list.
I know.
Make your list.
And he's we'll talk about him on probably some of our other episodes, but do I think he should be on there? Yeah, but there's a lot of good spots though. Is the problem for Tactics.
I'll say this about Tactics, and then I guess it's like Tactics just kind of stayed in its lane the whole time. Our problem with leadership is that everything Like there was a card that could do everything. There was a card that boosted dwarves and elves, and, it's just all over the place. But with tactics, with the exception of tactics Eowyn, I guess, like we're really just talking about attackers and defenders, and who's the best at doing that, right? That's like Legolas, Baragon, Grimbeorn, Imrahil. Like they're the ones that can do those things really well, and and I think that that's why I don't think Hirgon is appealing on this list, is because Hirgon derives his ability from questing successfully, and it's like, oh, where everybody else is, even Eowyn has her party trick that's like, okay, let's attack.
And it's a cool party trick. Right?
Cool party
You're
trick.
like, wow.
Yeah.
And she tends to be she's quite a lot of people in the community are just tactics Eowyn.
Well, she's very good.
Yeah.
So,
but it's interesting because she's very different from all of our other picks, right?
Right. Well, right. She's the least tacticsy,
attacky,
right?
Tactics hero.
But her party trick is the most attacky, right? Like,
yeah.
So,
very true.
Well, so I guess that's our list of 5, and I think that was maybe next to Spirit, maybe the easiest one to come up with, right? Like Eowyn, Baragon, Legolas, Grimbeorn, and Imrahil. There we have it, right? Done. Yeah. Okay, everybody. There you have it. That's our top 5 tactics pick. Join us again as we talk about more 5s in the game. Have a great day.
Do you love the content? Here's what you can do to stay connected. Become a patron. The money collected through Patreon goes into keeping the lights on here at the podcast. We love our patrons, and you can join at many different levels. Visit patreon.com/cardtalk2018. You can subscribe to us, whether you're watching our YouTube channel or you're listening to us in your favorite podcatcher. Hit the subscribe button to get notifications of all our new episodes. Didn't know we were an audio podcast? Find us by searching Card Talk to get access to our 120 plus regular episodes. Didn't know we were a video channel? Find us by searching Card Talk LOTR LCG on YouTube. And there you can find not only our regular episodes, but you can find our bonus playthroughs and other content related to the game. Want to get a hold of Ted, Grant, or myself? Feel free to email the podcast at cardtalk2018@gmail.com.